the king of cold himself has made its way into my collection. Stay tuned for my unboxing and review of this Sideshow premium format Mr. Freeze and see why this might be my favorite Batman villain statue to date. All right, you guys, well, thank you for joining me for this unboxing and review of the new Sideshow premium format Mr. Freeze statue. So the collector's edition is up for pre-order right now on Sideshow.com. Pre-orders went up about, I think, beginning of last year. I could be wrong. I waited a little bit, but I, as you see here, got the exclusive edition. That's sold out. That is currently on wait list. The difference is the collector's edition has an edition size of 1,000. It's $695 versus the exclusive is, I believe, $720, and it has an edition size of 500. And with the exclusive, you get the Mr. Freeze, but you also get the cryonic chamber Nora Freeze, which kind of reminds me of my favorite Batman the Animated Series episode, Heart of Ice, where he's remembering Nora with that snow globe he has of the ballerina, and it's kind of got that feel to it. Obviously a little bit different. This is more of a small statue in the cryonic dome, and it lights up. So that's what we get with this premium format Mr. Freeze exclusive versus the collectors. And before I get into the unboxing and review, I'm going to ask that you guys, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below, smash that like button, hit that notification bell so you can get updates whenever I post new statue reviews. Let's get into it. Looks good. God. All right. Time for the head. That portrait is dead on. Dead on. All right, we'll go ahead and put his forearm with the gun. Now his other hand. I believe this is a friction fit. All right. And that should just pop right into there. That's it. This thing right here is absolutely insane. Mr. Freeze might just be the best premium format villain to come out of Sideshow. Alright, let's take a closer look. Guys, I'll give you some more detail in the base, which I have a couple thoughts on. Overall, like I said, this is freaking awesome. The suit reminds me of the Batman the Animated Series, but it also has like that newer look. It's not so bland, you know, and basic. There's a lot of complexities going on right now with this suit. Oh, I almost forgot. You kidding me? How could I forget the cryonic glass? It is glass, you can hear it. Glass dome for his dome. That's it. That is the final touch to the Mr. Freeze exclusive premium format. Now it's time for a closer look. So I'm obviously way too excited because I forgot another component of the statue, and that is the Batarang, which goes into the ice here. I believe this is, actually I think it goes the other way. Goes right here. Goes like that. You can see that Batarang. Let's get better light on that. There's the Batarang, which Batman just threw. If there was anything I would critique, it would be the base. There's a couple things that I could have done without. The first thing here is all of the references to Batman. We get it. We know Mr. Freeze is a Batman villain. We know that he has had many encounters with Batman. And I get that Sideshow wanted to add these little hints and touches and Batman-related aspects to the statue, but I think it was unnecessary. Could have just done with the Batarang. I don't know if I needed that cape there. And also the cape is very, very fragile. These little pieces right here will break really easily, and that's a little scary, especially depending on where you have it. Hopefully these don't stick out, because if you were to catch a shirt on it or something walking by it, that is going to snap off pretty cleanly. So just be aware if you do purchase this piece that don't lift it up by the cape when you're taking the base out. Make sure you lift it up by, if anything, these little icicles here. Let's talk about the boots a little bit. You can see all the, like, here, I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see all the frost that Sideshow added to the boots, which is a nice touch, obviously. Another thing that I do like is the icicles. I was a little skeptical at first. I didn't know if they were going to look cheap or plasticky, but they look great. They have that translucent blue to them. I'll call it like the waffle part of the base. That looks a little plasticky. It looks like just basic plastic, but you barely see it. A lot of it is covered by that snow. So overall, it's a pretty decent base. It is not the best part of the whole piece. We'll get to that. But it definitely shouldn't keep you from buying this right here. And again, this is my preference. So maybe you do like the base. I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of people that are really in love with this base. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that Batarang does look pretty cool there. And the reason why I put it in that way is because one of the tips is frosted. So maybe it's been sitting in that ice for a while. You'll see there that tip to the end of the Batarang has some icing to it. So another little minor major detail. Something that they really thought about when putting this together. So we'll move on up. Boots look great. We'll talk a little bit more about the tubing as we get up to Mr. Freeze here. Victor Freeze. The paint application across this, you can see the shadowing. That's not just from the lighting I have right over here. The shadowing is actually done like that with the paint. It's darker, and you can see that stretching. That's where they put the shadowing paint application there. So I think they did a really nice job, and the stitching here makes it really look like leather. There is no mixed media in this. It is all statue. It is all, I believe, poly resin or whatever they're using, and it looks really good. I really like these pants, actually. I like those seams there that you get. It is 100% Mr. Freeze. This is what Mr. Freeze would be wearing. A nice little like activator Iron Man type thing there for his suit. And then you have the tubing, which is blue, which was a problem with a lot of people. Wasn't a problem with me. And then you have the tubing on the gun, from the gun to the backpack, which also has a frosting paint application on it. There's that frosting effect that you get there. We'll move a little bit up. There we have the backpack for his freeze gun or freeze ray or whatever we want to call it now. Looks nice. I don't have any critiquing of this. I don't even, this is more than I think it should be or thought it would be. So props to Sideshow. They put a lot of detail into the backpack, obviously. All right, so let's talk about the blue tubing. So I don't know the whole scientific makeup of the freeze gun, but I will tell you I do like the blue in the tubing. A lot of people are saying that, oh, why would it be blue? Like, that doesn't really make sense. If anything, it should be like a clear frosted transparent tubing, whatever it is, or white. I like the blue effect. It reminds me of Batman the Animated Series, which is my favorite Mr. Freeze depiction. I don't think it looks cheap. I think you can just say, all right, Mr. Freeze, whatever concoction he puts into this contraption, into his backpack, it's got a blue tone to it. So I think it's actually a nice feature of the statue. So everyone out there that's complaining about that, leave me a comment. Tell me why you think it should be a different color, because man, I'm in love with the way they did the tubing here. That blue just makes this statue pop even more. All right, let's now talk about the portrait. So this might just be the best part of this whole statue altogether, is the portrait. They nailed it. So the goggles have, it kind of reminds me of that Bane. You'll see I have that first premium format Bane behind Mr. Freeze here. And whether it's if you have this in a room where it's getting a little bit of sunlight, that red is just going to be shining. In the dark too, if you have some type of LED light or whatever it may be, that's going to make those goggles pop as well. So awesome job. The expression too, man. Before the statue was even released, I'm like, all right, so Mr. Freeze, how are they going to do his facial expression? I wasn't in love with the facial expression that Prime 1 did for their Arkham series Mr. Freeze statue. But this is it right here. This is Victor Freeze. He's got that look to him where obviously he is still a little bit depressed and distraught over Nora Freeze. Just an amazing job with this portrait. Back of the head too, another little feature that goes a long way is I love the buckle aspect to the goggles. I don't know why. I think like an elastic headband type piece to the goggle would just look cheap. I do like the buckle. It's that old German scientist crazy vibe he's got going. I'm just going to use this buckle for my goggles on my head. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Come on, guys. Look at his head. And look at the cryonic dome, too. The glass around his head, his helmet, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really have like I don't know. It's pure glass. Maybe that is why they upped the price a little bit for this quarter scale premium format. I think this is the highest price premium format they have so far, but it makes the world of a difference. Having this as opposed to, I don't think they'd use plastic, but I was thinking maybe they'd just use some other type of material. Well done. Well done. All right, and finally, we'll just talk quickly about the gun here. I'll zoom out a little bit. I don't know, guys. So it makes the piece even taller. This is, I also want to mention, this is a heavy piece, and it's also pretty tall. I was initially going to put it next to Bane, but I think I'm going to put it on its own shelf because I'm going to blacklight it. It has that blacklight feature where if you shine a blacklight on it, it looks pretty badass. I don't really know how to describe it, but the goggles especially light up and look really cool under a blacklight. But I'm going to put him on top of his own shelf and get a blacklight under him. I think that will really make the statue stand out amongst my other awesome statues that I have in this room here, like that Batman New 52 back there, and Bane's behind him. I have the Spider-Man premium format from Sideshow as well. But I think this is my favorite one so far. Man. Guys, I really hope you're thinking about pre-ordering this if you weren't initially. If you are a statue collector and you do like to collect the Batman villains, this is a must in your collection. I don't know why you would pass this up. I feel bad for the people that wanted the exclusive but didn't jump on it or waited too long. I ordered it a few months ago. I wasn't going to wait around. It only has 500 in the edition size, so I wasn't going to take a chance. So you snooze, you lose. Sorry, guys. You might be able to get lucky and get the exclusive. I'm not sure if they're releasing any more on Sideshow's website, but for now, the collector's edition is available on their website, so you could always pick it up there. Man, am I forgetful today. Sorry, guys, we're back for a little closer look because I completely forgot about Nora in her dome, which is what you get with the exclusive, and it lights up, which is really cool. You can't see it all that well on camera because it is pretty bright. Shit. But yeah, it is a nice, cool add-on to Mr. Freeze here. And as I mentioned in the intro to this video, comment below if you have a little bit more background as why they chose this. Am I right in thinking that it is based on that Heart of Ice episode from Batman the Animated Series, where Mr. Freeze has his snow globe of that ballerina that he cherishes and carries with him everywhere to remember Nora? I think that's kind of what they were trying to do here with this miniature Nora frozen ice sculpture, or whatever this is, Nora in the cryonic chamber here. But yeah, I really like it. I will say the Mr. Freeze helmet, the glass piece, goes in pretty deep. So if you were to move the statue around, most likely that is not going to fall off unless you completely tip it over. But this barely sets in to the base, so just be careful moving it around if you do get the exclusive. It is one thing to be aware of. But yeah, that's another cool feature to this. So I needed to show you this. I now have my whole setup with the blacklight, which you can see there. I have some blacklight strips behind this cabinet, and I have my Batman White Knight Presents Von Freeze comic book. This is written by Sean Murphy, Klaus Janson, Matt Hollingsworth. It is a great Mr. Freeze story. If you read comics, I would highly recommend it. There's Nora. But man, let's talk about this for a second. First of all, I think the statue needs to be presented with some type of lighting in the dark. I have just the typical LED uplight that changes colors. It is not a blacklight. And you can get those on Amazon. So this is just shining a blue light. And you can already see the goggles and that blacklight feature that Sideshow displayed on their website a few weeks back. And it just blew everyone's minds that this statue looks like this under this kind of lighting. So wanted to just let you guys know, you don't necessarily need a blacklight. Just get any type of colorful LED lighting, and I would put it below it. Here's what it looks like below. He looks really menacing. Straight on looks great too. But the shadowing behind him too, when you put it below him. You can see the battering shadow. That's awesome. And the glass dome over his head just glares and looks really, really creepy and cool. Guys, you have to display this. If you get this statue, you have to display it with a light like this. All right, well, I just needed to show you guys this. I hope this, if you have not purchased this piece, helps you make a decision and whip out that credit card, because you're going to want this if you're collecting the premium format Batman villains that Sideshow Collectibles has been doing an outstanding job the last few years. So, can't speak highly about this piece enough, guys. Let's back up a little bit. Those red goggles. Jesus. All right, you guys, well, thank you for sticking it out for my review of the new Mr. Freeze premium format by Sideshow Collectibles. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this overall. Are you going to be picking this up? Do you already have it on order? Are you waiting to get it in? Like I said, this is the exclusive. The collector's edition is up for pre-order right now on Sideshow.com. So if you like it, unfortunately, you won't be able to get the Nora Freeze in the cryonic chamber here, but you will get the Mr. Freeze piece. So go pick it up if you're interested. And I would also encourage you, if you have not done so already, please click that subscribe button down below, smash that like button, hit that notification bell so you can get updates whenever I post new statue unboxings and reviews. But until next time, jumps out.